That's had another coat. Same with that one. These two, I'd only made 2 and realised I needed 4, so they're just gluing, super gluing. There's that one. Again, I glued on the inside, but that would disappear. So they've just got to be sanded down, filled, get some filler into those edges. You can sort of get rid of them. I mean, that would, if I kept sanding that and repainting, that would actually go, which I might do because it's quite a prominent sort of feature on the front. So I might give that, although you're not going to see it, wouldn't it, unless you're really close up. So they've got to be done, and the other bits, the other little bits that go with them, have just got to be painted. So that's quite a good weekend's work, really. So that. Okay, here we are with the final dry fit of R2's legs, feet, battery boxes, pretty much painted. There's a couple of small little bits on the greeble still to do, just on those bits, but everything else is done. I might give a little bit more paint to a couple of items, but I'll just run you through what I've done so far. So we've got the feet boxes. I've got the gunmetal bits. There's a little bit of paint splash in there, but I think that gets covered over, so we'll see how that goes, because the boxes go on the side there, so I haven't actually assembled that bit. I put those little bits on a few minutes ago, just push them on, tidy up that bit of paint in there. So I've got 2 of those. What I'll do is I'll create space as I go, because it's so packed in here. That's the centre one, which I painted. I've just got to sand down a bit of white paint on there. But the silver's done the gunmetal. I've just got to sand down that paint drip there, but that sands off quite nicely. So I think they're pretty much done now. That one, as I say, is done, certainly for the time being. Okay, what have we got next? Battery boxes. I'm not going to paint any more on those. I've done the... I'm just going to repaint those bits in there, so they're not pushed in properly at the moment. I'm not sure what goes on with. I assume you just put a bolt through there just to hold them together. I'd had a bit of 3mm filament that I had, but I'll probably put an Allen bolt through on those 2. So they're ready to glue on. I've got the knurled knob bits and the bit inside. So they screw in, which is a nice little feature, I think. It's a very nice feature. So those bits are done. I'm not sure with the back to the feet, actually. I'm not sure if these are meant to fit over there as well. So I haven't looked at Mike's design, so I'm not 100% sure about that. I suppose it's the way you use the hose. So if anyone wants to let me know if I just need to sand that out a little bit, because to get that to fit. Because I had to adjust the other ones to get them to put over, to fit over the to get those to fit on. I just had to sand them down a bit. So possibly have to do the same with those. Okay, so that's those. The main legs. Now these have taken quite a while. This is just dry fitted, nothing's glued on. But I'm rather pleased with them. I think they've come out rather nicely. So I'll just take them. I've done this before, but not painted. So it all comes apart somehow. That'll come off. This has got slightly chipped, which I quite like actually, because as I say, I'm going to weather that, so I'm not bothered about any chipping on the paint. This just pushes in. Again, that will I'll probably hot melt that in, because I quite like the idea of being able to take it all apart. That's quite a nice thing. That, as you know, just has got magnets at the back there. Those two pieces. So I've used the gunmetal and the silver titanium, basically the paints I had. So that they need screwing in. These side pieces, the little greebles, I've actually, if I can get them out, with difficulty. Putting them in too well. Right, finally get that bit out. I've just used, I had some 3mm filament that I bought for my in-move hinges ages ago, and I never used it to print, but I've used it to make hinges out of, so it's perfect size. So that's 3mm. I've just slightly had to ease those holes out. So they as you see, they clip in really nicely. So I'm not going to glue them in. I'm going to leave them because it just means I can take the whole thing apart and repaint it if I want, if I suddenly get a different urge for a different colour. These, same thing. They pull off, and I'm going to leave them as they are. So I've just got the filament in there, and they fit in quite nicely. I'm not going to take that out, but the same thing again. That's got the two bits of filament top and bottom holding it in. Base of the feet. Let me get that better on camera. So pan down a bit. There we are. Right. These. This isn't pushed on at the moment. I'm just going to give that another paint, but that clips in there. I think that's had enough paint. It's gunmetal. It's getting slightly worn at the bottom, but that bit doesn't show. Gunmetal paint that goes on there. Right, just hold on for a second. Okay, short break there. Right, where were we? Feet. So, as I said, that's going to be as painted as I'm going to do that. No more painting on that. A bit more painting on that, just to give that. You can just see some marks on there. That is just pushed in, so that's going to get glued on. The side pieces. Let me just take that off so I don't damage that. Side pieces there. Let's pan down. Dirty there. They are going to get glued on. I've just got 1.75mm filament in there, so they just push on. And I think I will hot melt them on just to, again, so that I can always take them apart again in the future. Same on that side, so they're just pushed on. I think I might have seen some people have filled these in colour. I'm not going to do that. Well, certainly not for the time being. That is, as you know, that just slots on there. This isn't actually glued on at the moment. It's just a very tight fit, and I originally just had a bolt going through there to hold it in place. So I might actually keep that the situation. I might put a big screw in there and just have that so I can take apart. Just so I can completely unassemble the whole thing. It's quite nice if I do change the colours. This I will hot melt on onto there. So again, I can always change that. And that's the legs really. Just got a little bit more to do on the greebles, a little bit final painting, but I'm going to assemble these, hot melt all these together, and then they are finally done. Because they've been cluttering up the place, and then I can put them to one side, create a lot of space in the workshop. Just pan back up again. So I can get on with the rest of the R2D2. I've been painting the dome again, or I painted the ring again, which I will show you now. Okay, this is as it was in previous videos, so I haven't actually changed that, apart from the colour of the ring round here. Now, I painted this the other day, you may have seen on the blog, a dark grey. I think it was gunmetal, which looked all right, but it didn't really have the sort. It didn't sort of stand out. So I've now painted it the titanium, but I haven't actually done it that well, unfortunately. So I will show you why I'm going to have to slightly touch up that painting. What I'll do is, so I don't damage it, let's put it on a cushion. And I've also painted the inside, because it was, I had various different undercoats in there, and I was just getting dirt on my fingers anyway, so it's just really to damp down the paint. Now, it isn't, let's just pan up. I don't mind, I think I like the colour, the contrast, but when I painted it, originally I painted it that way round. Spray painted it so the paint was going down, if you see what I mean, but you can just see on the lips there it's spread over onto the red, which is really annoying. I think the reason for it was because I sprayed it this way, the paint gravity crept underneath the masking tape, so I'm just going to mask off that silver again and just give it another red spray just to tidy up that edge, which is a little bit annoying, but that's going to be, it's like paint mark there as well. I might actually sand that out. I think I like it, but that's going to be the colour it's going to be for the time being anyway. It might suddenly change colour, who knows? But there's also green. When I painted the inside, you can see the green on there, which doesn't matter because it's going to have covers over it. So I might give that a bit more paint on the green, but I think it will certainly hold. It was just getting very dusty inside, so that's really why I sprayed that. I should have painted it white inside completely when I did the original spraying, so but I didn't. But that would have been a much more sensible idea. But it's a bit late now. I don't want to get paint leaking through onto that, if you see what I mean. And this, I'm still going to emery cloth down and buff up again, rub and buff or whatever they call it, but later when I've got a lot more assembled, because I've only damaged the surface, so it's good enough for the time being. But I am going to just later on this afternoon give that a tidy up on that. What else have I got to show? That's I think that's it on the R2D2 for the time being. Just respread that again. So I'm going to keep that in the white, I think. So a couple of coats. Just been going over and respraying bits and pieces. Some of the panels sanded down, resprayed, sanded down. You just look at them and suddenly want to respray them again. So I think that will go on and on and on. But that is it. So once I've assembled these legs properly, I can pack them up, wrap them up in something so they don't get damaged, put them to one side and save some space. Gonna then get on doing some work on the body, just to fill off the finalise the lower sections. Then I can start working on the doors and the hinges and all the sections for the main body. So at least I'll have cleared off a whole section and created some space in the workshop, which is the most important thing. So I'll get on with it.